Hello and welcome back to Kitten Up Kitten, and my name is Sam. Today I'm doing a little bit of a different video. I'm actually going to frame a diamond painting. Number one, if you are here for the very first time, please do take the time to have a look at my other videos. Give me a like on this video, that will help me get out to everybody else. And please do consider subscribing, it really does help this channel grow. If you are coming back, welcome back. And I've decided to do this framing because I need to get this picture framed for Christmas. It's going up on the wall. And I want to make a good job of it. This is going in the front room. Now, I've only framed 2 others before, and it does vary on the size. So I'm going to go through what I've got first of all. So I have a 80 by 60 centimetre frame. It's 32 by 24, so that would be, sizes are approximate, but that will be like the bit that you can see. So I've got a frame. I got this from the range, $16.99. Got a craft knife, got a ruler, roll of nano tape, and a big pair of scissors. So I'm going to move the frame out of the way. Now this is like a plasticky cover, not a glass cover, and I'm going to make sure it's the right way up to hang. First of all, I'm going to pop it down at the end, and this is what I am framing. I am framing Polar Express. How freaking beautiful is this canvas? I am not the sort of person, I don't go to the lengths of straightening drills up after I've done it. I just don't. I just haven't got the patience for that. However, I do like to make sure that I have rolled it. So I am going to roll it all over, which is why I wanted a flat desk. Now, I've never done this on camera before, so this could go horribly wrong. You will learn as we go along, as will I. But it's just a nice little video, and I thought it'd be a little bit of a break after doing DIY DP. So I'm going to roll it all over. I got this roller in a kit. I bought some storage and it came with it. Now what I'm then going to do, I'm going to flip it over. Oh, look at this. Can you see? How minging. Now the reason I'm flipping it over is, for some reason, it double makes sure that they're stuck down. There you go. Can you hear it? Got some cracking going on. That is not the drills breaking. That is the drills popping back into place. Please do not think that your canvas will end up as dirty as mine. This is because I take stuff in and out of places. So because I take them on holiday, I move from room to room, I have them outside. So that is our canvas. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the time just to rub my hands over and see if I can feel drills out of place. All of those there are out. And just make sure they're all laying down, because once this is behind glass, I'm not going to go back to it. Now, I will say you can leave the glass out to give it that high shine. However, for me, this will be in the loft at every other time of the year, and I don't want it getting covered in cobwebs, so I have decided to do it behind glass. So there we go. Okay. The other thing that I bought, because this diamond painting is smaller than the frame I've got, so I also brought a sheet of this card, this backing card. So the plan is that I'm going to measure it up. Once I've got the picture in the frame, I'm going to measure up how much of a gap I need. Now, from the looks of it, this is where we go to our journals or our trackers or logbooks or whatever you call yours. Where are you? Polar Express. I think it's before. There we go. So Polar Express is actually 79 by 56, and I've got a frame that is 80 by 60. So it does mean that I am going to have a very small border at the top and a bigger border down the side, because I'm going to have 2 centimeters each side, and I am going to have just ½ centimeter that way. I am going to have a look. I'm going to have a good look at the canvas, because depending on what we've got, it may be worth me doing a slightly bigger, so it's all the same all the way round. Looks pretty good. So I'm just checking, what am I losing? If I lose a little bit each side, not a lot. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to get this frame out so that we can have a look and see how well that sits in there. So I do have scissors and I do have a craft knife, and that is purely because we may, like I said, need to cut that board. And the thing is, you need to measure it and you need to cut it out, the inside out. That makes sense? I hope so. So yes, £16.99 for the frame from the range. In my local area, it is the cheapest place to get large frames from. We went with a lovely grey one because we have, our front room is a beautiful teal colour with grey accents. So grey goes with everything, does it not? So I'm going to get these corners off. Now what I'm going to work to, oh, I mean, it's a bit fiddly, it's not the easiest thing to do. Let's get these out. So I am going to, I don't know how well they're going to bend up. I do not have the best hands, so I use the scissors just to bend them up. I apologise if I am out of shot. I have got my camera up as high as I possibly can and still be able to see that I'm filming. It is Monday. I will be doing a live this evening, but I have finished off a section that I was doing on my whip this morning, and I thought, let's get this done, even though it will not be going up until a lot nearer Christmas. I am not a November tree decorator. God, that one doesn't want to come up. But if I get it done, it can sit in here. There's also the fact that we're having new carpet fitted. Oh, that won't come up. Let's come at it from this angle. I don't want to use my nails because I will. I'll hurt myself. Please excuse me if you could see my head. Like, sometimes it's easier to use your fingers, but it hurts mine, so I don't think £16.99 for a 60 by 80 frame is that expensive, to be fair. I have previously tried to use a clip frame. They are not strong enough for diamond paintings. They don't hold together well enough, so I don't suggest using one of those, even though they're a slightly cheaper option. I mean, it might work for small ones, but certainly for the bigger ones it does not. So I'm going to lift that out. Oh my word. That really does not want to come out. I don't want to pull too much upon those Right, where's the scissors? Oh my word, this was easier. This is why YouTubers don't do this sort of thing on video. I mean, I do have the option of, you know, I'm just trying to get an edge. I don't want to damage it. Why will you not come out? It does not want to come out of that frame at all. I mean, I'm not moaning because it does mean that you've got a nice... Oh, nearly. It means you've got a nice... There we go. Got it. So, this is how I am going to determine how big we're going, because I won't need all of that. So I need it to be this size, okay? Need it to be that size. So if I take it, definitely want it to be the same all the way around. Like that. Excellent. I think that's about right. Okay. Right, so we need to take it all the way round like that. So I want it to be as even as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my scissors and I am going to make a nick there. I am going to make a nick there. And the same this side. And that will give me my 2 points to go to. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that canvas down, because we know that this is the area that is going to be shown in the glass. So I'm going to do that first of all. It just helps because then I know where I've got to cut to. Make sure that's level. Oh, Sam, she says, and then goes and mucks it up. It's not easy. I would normally do this on the floor, but I have no way. That'll do. Okay, so let's move that. I mean, even if I have a small border. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cut. I'm hoping that you're in shot. It's roughly where my washi tape goes up to. I am not taking my washi tape off. I'm going to leave it on, because the height of the drills means that it's higher. So leaving the washi tape on, just gives me, yeah, just there. Like that. One bit. Now this is the scary bit, isn't it? Most people will say, oh my God, I'm terrified of cutting the wrong amount, blah, 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 blah. You won't. This is going to be covered by your card. You don't even have to use card. You can use paper. It'll be slightly cheaper. I think it was £2.49 for the card. and I got a colour that I felt would go in with our decor. So I'm now going to turn that around because I'm down to that end, and I'm going to cut it across here. I'm going to get that width in first. The other option that I had was to put it on, what's the board stuff? Foam board. But because I know this is going to be going up every year, because why wouldn't I? Now I've taken the time to do it. I don't want it to get damaged getting moved in and out of the loft. That is just not an option. I have framed diamond paintings this way before. I have never had a problem with drills falling off. Certainly not on Diamond Art Club ones. So no, I am not sealing. It is going behind Perspex. Not being funny, the first one that I ever put up to be framed is my Freddy picture, which came from one of the Chinese sites somewhere. Can't even remember where. And never lost a drill. You know, especially if you're putting it behind Perspex. Me personally, I don't feel the need to seal a Diamond Art Club painting. It's guaranteed. So, yeah. Okay, so that is that cut to the size that I need. Okay, I am now going to move this out of the way because what I don't want to do is to have an uneven amount. I'm going to pull my card out like so, and I'm going to place my piece of board on top. Okay. Now I'm wondering, actually, whether I just cut the board to size and I just stick it to the board. Do I need the rest of the board? This is the issue. I don't know. So I am going to mark this edge and this edge like so. That's where I will cut it out. Let me have a look. Let's take this bit of paper out because this bit of paper can act. Oh. I mean, I'm kind of impressed with how. Look at that. So if we've got that size, how big is that? Because what I want is I want a border to be the same size all the way round. And I will use the other board. Right, so it's 2 centimetres. So let's do the same down here. So 2 centimetres. Now this purely means that I will have an area of the canvas that is covered up at the top and at the bottom. There isn't enough there for me to panic about whether it's covering up something important. It won't be. I would rather have the uniform coloured edge around the picture to set it up. Are you with me so far? I do hope so. The other thing that I really want to try is I really want to try stretching and making a canvas. out of a diamond painting. I don't know whether that'll ever happen, but I'm hopeful that at some point Ashley will go, yeah, I can do that, and I can frame lots of them. Of course, it is a lot easier to frame a smaller one, but I like my big canvases. I just want to make sure that we have that equal gap all the way around. So I am going to mark this out with pen, and then I'm going to use a craft knife to cut it out. I apologise because I know my head's in the way. I'm so sorry. I have no other way of doing it. Once I've done this, I am, you won't see this video straight away, to be fair. But once I've done this, I will be getting the figures together for later on. Because I will be going live this evening, which will be nice. You could, if you're very good at marking out borders, if you're one of those people you only need a couple of dots, please do so. But I want to keep this as straight as possible because I intend on having this on my wall every Christmas for many years to come. Why wouldn't you want to show off how good your crafting is? So yeah, 2 centimetres all the way around on this particular frame, and I can certainly say at $16.99 for a frame this size, sorry, not this side, I am more than happy to pay that to frame one of these. I have chosen to use nano tape to attach my canvas to the backing. That is normally how I do it. You can use double-sided tape, of course. I just find that nano tape is a little bit stronger. So what I'm going to do, you probably won't be able to see this because I am going to mark that. Like so, one edge, and it is now literally just joining up them dots to give me room. I'm hoping, I am not the greatest with a craft knife, so I am hoping that I can do a good enough job of this. Please take as much or as little time as you feel it's worth, but having the ability to frame such beautiful artwork at quite a reasonable cost is it's worth every second. So I'm taking these lines all the way up to the edge. Oh, I've also got a bit of a sweat on now, so I'm going to take my jumper off. I am wearing today some leisure wear, which is just a fancy name for pyjamas. When have you ever known me wear anything else? If I haven't got to go anywhere, I was meant to be going to the Me Monday because it's journaling, artistic, creative journaling. However, I got up late because me and Ashley were up late, obviously, watching Great British Bake Off. Right, one more to do and then I can get my craft knife out, and this is where it's gonna get difficult because, like I said, I'm not best with a craft knife. I also need to put something on my desk so I don't cut into my desk because I will be fuming if I cut into my desk. Of course, you may have, if you're lucky enough to have a meter rule. So there's that marked out. So I need to put, what can I put on my, I don't want to put that back in on there. I just don't want to risk. I don't think I'll be able to go that close through. It'll be fine. So I'm going to take my craft knife and I'm going to hope and pray. Oh, that doesn't feel very... Make sure that's nice and tight. Like so. Okay. Wish me luck. Is that enough? Don't think it is. So quite a lot of pressure then. This is why I hate doing this sort of thing with a craft knife. Oh, that's scored it. That's better. Okay. So same again. Firm pressure. And remember to stop. I would rather do this two or three times. Yeah, we're nearly there. I'd rather go over it 2 or 3 times, or even 4 or 5 times, and have a half decent cut. There we go. It's coming away. It's getting there. Not as quick as I thought it was going to be. So if I do go quiet, I apologise. It is just because I'm concentrating. I think once you've got that general line cut through, it is quite easy then to follow it. Oh, I don't know if it's going to be the neatest. Please work. Please don't make me look like a fool on YouTube. I don't need any help to look foolish. Right, nearly all the way through. Yeah, you see, once you've gone through, that's table. You've sort of got this. Yeah, sort of got this line to follow. So that's the first bit. So I will continue doing this. So let's do that bit first, because that's the corner. That wasn't even the card, that was the ruler. There isn't an easy way really for me to show you this at a better angle. You know, it is what it is. Yeah, that's through. So I'm just hoping that the end result looks okay. Now I will say, on the previous one I did, the first one I ever framed, I actually did that one and I framed it, and then I put washi tape. I used the paper, so I cut the edge off completely. I used the paper in the frame as a backing. I turned it round so it was just white, and I then finished the edges with washi tape, which is also another option if you don't want to pay for the extra board. Right, as long as it's majority of the way through, I can live with that. I just thought it's an opportunity to do a video that I can then put up at some other point. So you could be watching this within hours of me doing it. You could be watching it within days or even weeks. There is nothing wrong with having a bank of need to go through that. I don't think it's going to be the most perfect job. I don't think it's going to be the worst either, you know. And what it's like with most things, isn't it? Practice makes perfect. So the more that I do, see, I'm tearing that bit, and I don't want that to tear. Leave it alone, Sam. Get the rest of it done and then you can fiddle with it. Okay. I'm actually trying to keep myself going between moving and resting today because I still have sciatica. I still have the issue with the burny pain. If you have fibro and you also have the burny pain, please tell me what you do to remedy it. I've been putting ibuprofen gel on it to cool it down because it literally does feel like I'm sunburnt. Right. They call this a mat, don't they? It's a mat. The other way you could do this is you could, which might be the case if this comes out horribly disgusting, you could cut strips and then do an angled join on each corner rather than cutting out this whole centre section. The reason I'm cutting this out is because if it goes wrong, I can then do exactly that with the larger bit in the middle. And I can just join it that way instead. So, I mean, I've not done this on any of mine. I think the last one that I framed, it was actually the right size for the frame, which was unusual. So yeah, I am learning. I'm just stupid enough to bring you guys along with me. So you can view my mistakes. I'm not adverse to sharing. Oh, that's definitely all the way through. Like, literally, I've just put a massive scratch in my table. I knew it! Look, on a plus side, I paid for this desk, not my husband, so he can't moan too much at me. It's not his furniture. That's not very straight, is it? Yeah, Let's do that. We're nearly there, Sam. Nearly there. It just depends on how neat. I don't think the paper cutter would go through this. It is just like literally, you know, like the ceramic cutter that I use for my sections. I don't think it would go through. So let's give this a go. Right, that's definitely so I'm just going down that line that I've already scored, and I'm just giving it a little bit of extra pressure to take it through. Yeah, it's not quite there, is it? Not quite there. I also just don't want to scratch my desk to pieces though. I'm literally using, I know I've gone very quiet, I'm literally using, I'm just concerned that I'm making a bit of a mess of this. Okay, let's go down this way then. That was a bit easier right there. Let's give this another bit of a score. See if we can get it to go through a bit better. Ooh. Oh, we're getting there. I'll be so upset if it's really bad. It doesn't have to be perfect. I have no one in my family that is an expert framer. So there's not going to be people coming around my house going, oh my God, look at the state of that mat that you did. Not going to happen. The main thing is it looks tidy. It looks like it's together. This bit really does not want to go, does it? I don't want to tear it because I think it's just where I've not done a very, there we go, I've just not done a very neat line. There we go, that's that bit. Please let that be okay, because, you know, I haven't got any more. So I'm going to score this end again because I don't think it's particularly scored all the way through. No. I mean, the floor might have been the better option for this. Oh, bit of backache now. But I'm getting there. I'm sure there will be those of you that have done paper crafting, journaling, scrapbooking, that sort of thing will be going, Sam, you're doing that all wrong. But seeing as none of you have done a video, I'm having to wing it, as I do most things in my life. Right, so let's just see if I can... That's nowhere near gone through, has it? Oh my lord. Right, give me a minute, I will be back. Okay, so what you should end up with, once you have cut yours out, is hopefully not too messy a mat. Okay, let's get that off. Please ignore how badly I have scratched that. Oh, it's awful, isn't it? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my scissors and I'm just going to tidy these edges up a little bit, just so it doesn't look too ropey. I mean, it's not the best, is it? I could just imagine you all going, oh, have you seen Sam's video? She made a right hash of that. Do you know what? I don't care. I don't care. I'm learning as I go. So maybe one year it will bother me enough. To be honest, most of those little bits are coming off. You just pull them. I can live with that. I can live with that. You watch Ashley be the one going, oh, you got a bit torn there. You got that bit's torn there. And then he will be told, oh, it's not the best job, peeps. It's not. But I have my frame. So let me move that to one side, because now we need to get into... So yes, this is a Perspex sheet. It is not glass. You want to, with the best will in the world, you need to try and keep that as smooth as possible. So I am going to... And it's too long. Oh. Right, so I am now going to have to cut this to make it fit. I assumed, which you should never do, it absolutely fits perfectly there. It's just too long this end. So I'm going to have to cut it down. For God's sake, I need it to be there. So let's take that out. Oh. Right, so if I cut it across there, and right, let's do that one first then. So if I've cut it across there and I've cut it across there, you may not be able to see this. So what I'm doing is I am cutting that corner first. I think actually this would be the easier option when you are doing your frame. I would do it in the strips. It's a lot easier. So there you go. After watching all of this, I suggest you cut it in strips. So what we should then get is from there to there. Yes. And then like so. That might be an easier option, and that way you're not going to mess up loads of quite expensive board. I need it in the middle. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, because I need that to stay together, what I am then going to do is I am going to take that. So if you are not putting a full mat behind it, do it in sections. It will work easier. So I'm going to get that. Now don't forget you have got a little bit of overhang on the inside of the frame. So I am going to get that as neat as I can. And then I'm going to get some washi tape. Doesn't really matter what washi tape, you're not going to see it. So I'm going to use a bit of this. And I am just going to tear off a bit. And use it to stick across there. Just to hold those corners in. Just to make sure they look as neat as possible. Which, after the debacle I've just done, well, this is why you watch me, isn't it? So you can have a good giggle. I just want a little bit of washi tape just to hold those corners in place. So I never said that it was going to be the neatest job, did I? Did I say that? No, I did not. However, right, so for next time, please get your board and cut the strips the right length and angle them to fit so that you don't go through that debacle that was me cutting the card. I could have just done it this way. Okay. Okay, frame is in. I'm gonna stand that up. And this is where we get to the frame. Number one, make sure that your backboard is the right way up for where you want to hang it. So I need mine so that these, because it's going to be landscape mode, are at the top. So I'm going to put my board that way round. And what I'm then going to do is I am then going to stick this to the board. Now I'm going to get that overhang and I'm going to make sure it goes all the way up to the edge. And then what I'm going to do, I am going to get my picture and I'm going to try it before could have been done with being a little bit could have done with being a little bit wider. So the question is, do I start again? Do I start again? Because it isn't perfect, is it? It isn't perfect. So I have two options. I can either start again and redo that board, or I can find a washi tape that matches. Have I got enough? I don't know if I have enough of that. I could find a washi tape that matches and do the edges of that first. Obviously this is not going to be the most professional finish you are ever going to see, is it? That one will. Welcome to Sam's bodge up framing. So I'm going to put that down there. If it looks truly horrendous, then I will. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get my tape. So I've got a little overhang there which can come off. So I am going to carefully trim off a little bit more of each section because I don't want this overhanging this board. If it is overhanging, it will not fit in that frame. So just trim it if you need to. Yeah, there's a little bit there, isn't there? At least I'm not losing as much of the picture as I thought I was going to, which is fabulous. I thought I was going to lose the edges of diamonds, but clearly not. So happy about that. So please do enjoy watching this video if you would like to watch how not to frame a picture. Is it going to look okay at the end of it? It will be all right. I have no doubt. Okay, so to fix my picture to my backing, I am going to use nano tape. It is the strongest tape that I have ever come across. That coffee is disgustingly cold. It is also, I have used this to put pictures up on a wall. It is very, very strong. It can be a little bit of a mare to work with, but once it's on, that's it. It's on. It ain't going nowhere. Now, what I suggest is not to go just around the edges. You want tape around the edges, but you also want to make sure you've got some in the middle to hold it up. If you do not, your picture will slump. Again, this is from experience. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my first lay edge there. So what I'm doing is I'm pressing it down as I go. We are not going to take off. Going right up to the edge. We are not going to take that plastic off just yet. We are just going to give that a really good push down. And we are going to leave it. And we are going to do this with all four sides of this piece of board first. Because this is going to give your picture, it's going to keep it in place. So I am going to do all the way down here. Now this tape does have, nano tape does have this tendency to stretch. You don't want it to stretch too much because if you do, it will make a mess. Sam's video, how to make everything more difficult. So in hindsight, instead of drawing that frame, I will do it in the strips because it will just look much better and you've got a bit more control over where your frame will end. That is my advice. You may be absolutely fantastic at backing pictures already, in which case do it the right way, not Sam's way. You know, it is what it is. Now I need to get round here, round the wrong side of my desk. So I'm going to get that bit there, like that. And again, I'm going to follow it along to make sure that is right on that edge as well. Because like I said, it does have a tendency to stretch if you pull it. So again, I am not going to take that plastic off, that covering off, until I am sure that I am ready. So now I have done those two, I am also going to put two more strips 1/3 of the way down. This doesn't have to be dead on, you know, don't worry about measuring it. But what I'm doing is I'm making sure that it's held up at multiple places, because those drills make the paintings heavy. So that's the nano tape on. Put that to one side. These scissors are the biggest scissors that I have got. So this is where we bring our canvas in. So before you take it off, make sure that you have got everything where you need it to be. It is straight, it is to the edge. I've got a little bit of an overhang, but I'm actually going to stick it down first and then trim it. Don't want any creases. We don't want any, those creases will show up if you're not careful. So I'm going to pull that back, and I'm going to take this end bit off, and then I will show you. She says, grabbing hold of that plastic is not easy. So first of all, I'm going to take that end bit off, and then I'm going to peel each side back to that first fold here. Don't pull it all off at this point, you will end up in a mess. So I'm going to peel that back to there, and I'm just going to let it hang. I'm going to come round the other side. So I do suggest that you have enough space that you can do this. Luckily, I just about do on my desk. So yeah, get that piece of plastic. So I'm not pulling all of it off. I am literally going, oh, she says. I always want to be remembered for that person that tried to help people but usually failed. So if nothing else, you have something to giggle at while you're diamond painting or whatever it is you're doing. I'm sure there are a million videos. I'm probably doing this all wrong, but this is just the way I do it. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to take that, and I am going to rub just like you would. You're going to give it a good press as you go up. Keep hold of it because you want to retain control of where that is sticking, and just give it a good stretch, because you want it to stretch right up to that edge. Fabulous. Yes. Okay, so that side is stuck. You are now going to pull your canvas back. You can roll it slightly, and you are going to go and take this first strip across the middle off. Easier said than done. What I should be doing today is housework. We have got a, can't pick that end up. We have got a carpet being fitted on Monday, and we're hoping to get furniture delivered at the weekend, because Ashley has actually taken Friday and Monday off. Because we were originally going to go away, but because we had to have the boiler done, I felt like we shouldn't really waste money going away. So I'm going to pull that back to that. I'm going to pull that one off completely, and I'm going to pull this strip all the way down to this next one. So you're literally laying it in sections as you go, and it really just means that you're giving yourself time to smooth it and flatten it as you go. Okay, so I'm nearly up to that bit, so I'm now going to take this last bit of tape off. I am aware that you may not be able to see exactly what I'm doing, but believe me, I'm just taking the backing off. Nothing more interesting than that. Once I've done this, I'm going to have myself a nice cup of coffee. It's always one bit, isn't there, that can't just peel off. Always. Come on, lift up. It's like I can get the plastic, but it's lifting the nano tape up with it, and that's not what I want. Let's do it from this side. There we go. There we go. Got it. Okay, so I'm going to pull this bit of tape back all the way almost to this edge. Same on that side. And we're going to go up to right up to this edge. So again, with that pushing, control, because you don't want any big creases. Yes. Once you've got to that part, you can then take that backing paper off, or that top paper off, whichever way you want to call it, and then do your, take it off the bottom piece, which is at the far edge. Sometimes a pair of tweezers is quite handy for getting that stuff off. I literally throw mine on the floor. I don't suggest that. Be neater, be tidier than me. And then it is just a case of giving it a good old push down, like that. Okay, we have, now that is sturdy, that is not going anywhere. So, because I am going to be putting fresh tape on here, if I can find where I put it. So I've got a nice blue marble that will go quite well, I think. And what I am going to do, I am literally put it right up to the edge of the drills. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my scissors. I'm going to get a slightly smaller pair. Oh, it wants to go up to the corner, doesn't it? I'm going to angle that, and then I'm going to press this down. I mean, you're only going to see part of this, but if you're going to see a bit, I need it not to be white tape. So I'm leaving the other tape on there, not too fussed. It still doesn't come to the same height of drills, so I'm not fussed. And of course, the good thing about washi tape is that you can lift it. Bit more of an angle. I'm sure some of you are sitting there going, Sam, you just made that way harder than it needed to be. The answer is probably. But, you know, I mean, of course, it's much easier, isn't it? If you know what you're doing and you prep ahead of time, then of course it's easier to do. Unfortunately, I don't work that way. What can I say? I do everything in a hurry. I do everything without thinking about it. It is just the way I am. So I'm going to come back and do that corner in a minute, because I do need to get round the other side of my table. And I will tidy it up. Oh, that already looks more professional. Just having that washi tape around that edge. That darker washi tape, doesn't it? There. So let's cut that. And this is where you pray you've got enough washi tape to do the whole of the other side. Because if you haven't, you're going to be cross. I'd quite like to get through this without getting cross about it. Oh, like literally just enough. Literally. Okay, so I'm going to tidy up the corners. That one isn't too bad. Do this one. If you, here's a little tip for you. If you do your washi tape first on both angles, you can then just cut into the corner of the same bit. I don't know if that made sense either. I know what I was talking about. So I'm going to turn it round this way. No, I'm not. Let's come round there. So this is what I meant. If you do your washi tape all the way to the end and overlap it, you can then come in and you can line up with your corner, and that will give you a beautifully neat edge without too much hassle. Oh, I am so hot right now. Oh, Sam. How many more things can go wrong? Might have to have a bit of a messy corner. Do you know what? I'm past caring now. I just want the bloody thing done. Let's just get it done and in the frame, for God's sake. This video is already 3 times longer than I thought it needed to be. So I'm just folding over that washi tape because it's excess. Okay. Oh, how's it looking, guys? I need a cup of coffee. Okay. So what you can do, if you haven't got a massive gap, you can actually just do the washi tape around the outside and that will work. So I'm going to pull this back in. So that one goes up there, like so. So yeah, it's probably easier to cut these bits out separately. That seems a lot easier to do it that way around than the way I did it. But you know, live and learn. I think I did frame one more, didn't I? I did frame one on camera. I think I did I Miss You. So that board is not perfect, but it's as good as. So what I am then going to do, I am going to put the main board on the back like that. You do actually want it to be quite a tight fit. Oh, where's it gonna go? I need to make sure that I flex it so it goes under them. Yes, and the same this side. Oh, is it gonna fit? These things always seem easy, don't they? Until you actually have to do it. So if I flex it a bit like that. Come on, you bugger. This is not the sort of thing I wanted to do on my day off. Oh, right. Let's get that edge in. That edge is in. Right. Now let's get that edge is in. This is way harder than I thought it was going to be. I was so pleased as well. I was like saying to Ashley, yay, I can get that framed. It's going to look amazing. I didn't count on potentially needing a strong man to help me get the back on. We're nearly there. We are so, oh, I'm so nearly there. It just takes a bit of force. And unfortunately, I don't have the best hands for that. Oh, that's gone in. I mean, if nothing else. Right, so if I put that in and pull all those down, yeah, you see, you've got a bit of room, that end. So I'm going to put all these ones down and hopefully that should hold that in place. You see, you've got like this. Yes, we're getting there. So put these ones down. The worst thing will be if I turn it over and those frame bits have moved. I hope not. Oh, it's splitting. Come on. I'm guessing it's probably just from the extra. Come on, why won't you fit? Bollocks. Right. Okay. So, after a break of about, I am not even kidding you, 3/4 of an hour, there have been some changes. I no longer have the matting. Given up on that bit. So the problem I had, and I presume it's because it's a cheap frame, is that with the additional matting and washi tape and all of that stuff, I couldn't get this back piece back into the frame. So what I've done is I have taken the matting off, I've taken the other washi tape off, and I have totally tidied up all of the sides to make sure that they were as neat as a pin. Now hopefully if you decide to frame one, you will not do it the way I've done it. You will watch this video first and you will go, oh look, let's not do that. It took a fair bit of force to get this into the frame, so I'm not bloody well taking it out again. What I will say is do make sure that you have enough of an edge to be able to bend it in, because I really struggled, and as you know, I'm not the strongest person, but once I got going, once I decided it was bloody well going in, it's not the tightest, neatest framing. Will it stay in the frame? It will for now. Do you know what? It's in and it's secure, and that's where I'm going. So let's turn this over so you can have a look. Do you know what? I'm going to take that. Now what I do need to do is I do need to find where the other bits are on this top bit, because that's not quite in properly, so I am going to fiddle around with that. But the finished result is that we have a beautifully framed canvas.